If you've ever typed best places to live in America into a search bar, you've probably felt a wave of frustration. The lists are generic, the data is outdated. They tell you where it's cheap, but not where life is rich. They mention sunshine, but not economic stability. It's a shallow picture of a life-altering decision. So, I spent the last 3 months analyzing data from sources like the Census Bureau, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and top university research centers to find a better answer. My goal wasn't to find the cheapest or the trendiest states. It was to identify the truly elite states for 2026, places that offer a superior combination of factors. We're talking about economic opportunity, world-class education and healthcare, and a quality of life that allows you to thrive, not just survive. This is your blueprint for a smarter future. Let's begin our countdown with a state that perfectly embodies this balance. Landing at number 10 on our list of elite states to live in for 2026 is Virginia. Virginia is a juggernaut of stability and opportunity. Many immediately think of its proximity to Washington, D.C., and for good reason. The economic anchor of the federal government is undeniable. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the D.C. metro area, which includes much of Northern Virginia, consistently maintains one of the nation's lowest unemployment rates for a major city. This creates a powerful engine of high-paying jobs in tech, defense contracting, and public service. But here's the common misconception, that Virginia is just Northern Virginia. Travel just an hour south, and the entire picture changes. Cities like Richmond and Charlottesville offer a completely different and far more affordable version of elite living. Richmond has become a hub for finance, law, and the creative arts, with a cost of living nearly 30% lower than its northern counterparts, based on data from the Council for Community and Economic Research. On the education front, the state is a powerhouse. The University of Virginia and William and Mary are consistently ranked among the top public universities in the entire nation by U.S. News. This creates an ecosystem of innovation that fuels the state's economy. But what about quality of life? From the Blue Ridge Mountains to the shores of Virginia Beach, the sheer variety of natural amenities is staggering. The state park system is exceptionally well maintained. The potential downside? The cost of entry in Northern Virginia is high. But for those who can work remotely or find opportunity in its other vibrant cities, Virginia offers an unmatched blend of economic might, historical depth, and natural beauty. From the bedrock of American history to the cutting edge of its future, our number 9 state is a surprising titan of civic health and quality of life. Let's head to the Midwest, Minnesota. While many might first think of cold winters, I found that when you look at the data, Minnesota consistently ranks in the top tier for things that create a truly stable, fulfilling life. Let's start with health. It's home to the Mayo Clinic, often ranked the number 1 hospital in the world. This excellence isn't just isolated to Rochester, though. According to the United Health Foundation's America's Health Rankings, Minnesota consistently places in the top 5 for overall public health outcomes, including access to care and low rates of chronic disease. This translates to lower insurance premiums on average compared to many coastal states, and a healthier, more active population. And that population is incredibly engaged. The state frequently leads the nation in voter turnout, a key metric of civic engagement tracked by the Census Bureau. There's a palpable sense of community and social responsibility here. Economically, it's anchored by 15 Fortune 500 companies, including Target, 3M, and Best Buy. This provides a diverse and resilient job market that isn't reliant on a single industry. Median household income is well above the national average, and when adjusted for the state's moderate cost of living, the financial picture is very strong for the middle class. Now, about those winters. Yes, they are cold and long. This is the state's biggest counter-argument. It requires a certain hardiness and a willingness to embrace 4 distinct and sometimes extreme seasons. But for those who do, the reward is a life of pristine nature, from the Boundary Waters canoe area to the north shore of Lake Superior. It's a trade-off for a truly elite quality of life. Moving west from the stable heartland, our number 8 state is a story of explosive growth, youthful energy, and unparalleled access to the great outdoors. Say hello to Utah. Utah's economic story is frankly astonishing. For years, the American Legislative Exchange Council's Rich States, Poor States report has ranked Utah number 1 for its economic outlook. Why? Pro-growth policies, a balanced budget, and a low, flat corporate and individual income tax rate. This has fueled a massive tech boom, creating the Silicon Slopes. This isn't just hype. Job growth in Utah has outpaced the national average for over a decade, according to BLS data. This creates immense opportunity, especially for young professionals. And young is the key word. Utah has the lowest median age in the entire country, at just 31.8 years. This creates a vibrant, family-oriented, and future-focused culture. This youthful demographic is drawn by both jobs and lifestyle. Utah is home to 5 iconic national parks: Zion, Arches, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, and Canyonlands. We call them the Mighty Five. This isn't just for tourists. For residents of Salt Lake City, world-class skiing, hiking, and mountain biking are often less than a 30-minute drive away. It's an integrated part of life. The primary consideration for some, of course, is the state's unique cultural and political landscape, which is heavily influenced by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For many, this creates an incredibly strong, safe, and supportive community fabric. For others, it might feel like a significant cultural shift. It's a factor that requires honest personal reflection. But based on the raw data of economic dynamism and quality of life metrics, Utah has cemented its place as an elite destination for those seeking to build a prosperous and active life. Our 7th state takes us back east, to a place that has quietly transformed itself from a traditional manufacturing hub into a modern center for research and finance. Number 7 is North Carolina. The heart of North Carolina's elite status is the Research Triangle, the area anchored by Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill. It's one of the most successful innovation clusters in the world. Home to Duke University, UNC, Chapel Hill, and NC State, this region is a magnet for talent in biotechnology, pharmaceuticals, and information technology. This isn't just an academic hub. The park itself hosts over 300 companies, including giants like IBM, Cisco, and GlaxoSmithKline, creating a deep well of high-paying jobs. But North Carolina's economic strength extends beyond the triangle. Charlotte has evolved into the second-largest banking center in the United States, behind only New York City. This dual-engine economy, tech and research in the triangle, finance in Charlotte, gives the state a resilience that is rare. All of this with a cost of living that remains just below the national average. When I cross-referenced housing data from Zillow with median income from the census, the affordability index for major metros, like Raleigh and Charlotte, is significantly better than for Austin or Denver. The state also offers a fantastic geographic range. You can be hiking in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the most visited national park in the country, in the morning and by the afternoon. Be relaxing on the beaches of the Outer Banks. This accessibility to diverse nature is a huge quality of life driver. A potential drawback to consider is infrastructure. The state's rapid population growth has put a strain on highways and public services in the major metro areas, an issue the state is actively working to address. But for those seeking elite career opportunities in future-proof industries without the punishing cost of living of other tech hubs, North Carolina presents a compelling and sunny proposition. Now, for a state that many people associate with just one thing, but whose overall profile of health, education, and economic diversity pushed it to number 6 on our list. Welcome to Massachusetts. Yes, Massachusetts is expensive, especially around Boston. We have to get that out of the way. But I argue that it represents one of the best examples of you get what you pay for in the nation. Let's start with human capital. It is, by almost any measure, the most educated state in America. According to the Census Bureau, over 45% of its adult population holds a bachelor's degree or higher. This isn't just about bragging rights. It's the engine of the state's economy. The presence of Harvard, MIT, and over 100 other colleges creates an unparalleled ecosystem for innovation. This funnels directly into the state's world-leading life sciences, biotech, and technology sectors concentrated in the Boston-Cambridge corridor. The jobs here are at the forefront of the global economy. The healthcare system is a direct beneficiary. Massachusetts General Hospital consistently vies for the top spot nationally, and the state's health insurance coverage rate is the highest in the country. This focus on education and health creates an exceptionally high quality of life. The downside is clear: the cost. The median home price in the Boston metro area is among the highest in the country. However, my research showed that in the western part of the state, In areas like the Pioneer Valley around Northampton and Amherst, the cost of living is dramatically lower. Here, you can still access world-class amenities and a highly educated populace, but with a lifestyle that feels more connected to nature and community and is far more financially manageable. Massachusetts isn't for everyone. It demands a high price of entry. But for those whose careers are in its elite sectors, it offers access to a concentration of intellectual and medical capital unmatched anywhere else. At the halfway point in our countdown, we arrive at a state that combines stunning natural beauty with a surprisingly diverse and modernizing economy. Number 5 is the Centennial State, Colorado. Colorado's brand is powerful: mountains, skiing, and an active outdoor lifestyle. And that brand is absolutely authentic. The Rocky Mountains are not a backdrop, they are the state's playground. This lifestyle is a primary driver of its population growth. It consistently ranks as one of the leanest and most physically active states in the nation, according to CDC data. But when I dug deeper, I found an economic story that's just as compelling. The state has cultivated a robust and diverse economy that extends far beyond tourism and natural resources. Denver has become a major hub for the aerospace industry, with companies like Lockheed Martin Space having a massive presence. It's also a key center for telecommunications and financial services. This economic diversification, tracked by the Bureau of Economic Analysis, is crucial. It means the state's fortunes aren't tied to a single volatile industry, providing long-term stability. Furthermore, Colorado has made significant public and private investments in renewable energy. It's a national leader in wind and solar power generation, creating future-focused jobs. This forward-thinking approach attracts a highly educated workforce. Like Massachusetts, Colorado is near the top in terms of population with a bachelor's degree or higher, fueling innovation. Now, the challenges. The secret is out on Colorado, and the cost of living, particularly housing along the Front Range from Fort Collins to Denver, has risen sharply. Traffic congestion is a daily reality for commuters in the Denver metro. Water scarcity is also a significant long-term concern for the entire region that policymakers are grappling with. However, the state offers a compelling trade. The access to unparalleled outdoor recreation, a vibrant and healthy culture, and a dynamic, forward-looking economy is a powerful combination. For those who prioritize an active lifestyle and want to be part of a thriving, modern economy, Colorado remains one of America's truly elite choices. For our number 4 state, we journey to the Pacific Northwest, to a place defined by innovation, nature, and a unique, independent spirit. Number 4 is Washington. Washington's story is one of global economic giants. It's the home of both Microsoft and Amazon. The impact of these two companies on the state's economy is almost impossible to overstate. They've created a gravitational pull for talent, attracting the brightest minds in software engineering, cloud computing, and e-commerce from all over the world. This creates incredible opportunities. But what I found interesting in the data is that the economy is more than just tech. Washington is also home to Boeing, a cornerstone of global aviation, and Starbucks, a worldwide retail force. This corporate firepower gives the Puget Sound region one of the highest median household incomes in the nation. The key financial advantage, however, is on the tax front. Washington has no state income tax. This is a massive benefit, especially for high earners in the tech sector, allowing them to keep more of their substantial salaries. Of course, this comes with a trade-off. The state relies heavily on a high sales tax and a business and occupation tax to fund services. It's a different approach to revenue. The quality of life is defined by breathtaking natural beauty. You have 3 national parks, Mount Rainier, Olympic, and North Cascades, each offering a completely different ecosystem to explore. The downside is an undeniable cost of living crisis in the Seattle metro area. Housing affordability is one of the worst in the nation, according to Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies. The city also faces significant social challenges, including a visible homelessness crisis, that are the subject of intense public debate and policy efforts. It's a complex and honest picture. But if you look beyond Seattle to cities like Tacoma or Spokane, or to the beautiful islands in the Sound, you find more affordable options while still being connected to the state's dynamic economy. For those who can navigate its high cost of entry and complex social landscape, Washington offers elite career paths and a connection to some of the most dramatic natural scenery on the continent. Now, we enter our top 3. These are states that, according to my analysis, achieve an extraordinary level of balance across all our key metrics. At number 3, we find a surprising New England powerhouse, New Hampshire. New Hampshire's motto is live free or die, and that ethos is woven into the very fabric of the state, starting with its tax structure. It's one of the most taxpayer-friendly states in America. Like Washington, New Hampshire has no state income tax on wages and no sales tax. The tax foundation consistently ranks it in the top 10 for its overall business tax climate. This creates a haven for entrepreneurs and small business owners. But it's not a low-service state. In fact, it's quite the opposite, especially when it comes to safety and education. For years, U.S. News and World Report's rankings have placed New Hampshire as one of the top 5 safest states in the nation, based on remarkably low rates of both violent and property crime. This sense of security is a cornerstone of its high quality of life. Educationally, its public schools are consistently ranked among the best in the country, contributing to a highly skilled workforce. Economically, it has a surprisingly diverse portfolio. While it has a growing tech sector, particularly around Manchester, it also has strong healthcare and advanced manufacturing industries. The primary funding mechanism for the state is a heavy reliance on local property taxes. This is the big trade-off. While you save on income and sales tax, your property tax bill can be substantial. This makes it crucial for potential residents to research specific town tax rates, as they can vary significantly. Another consideration is the limited diversity compared to other states on our list. However, the state offers 4 seasons of stunning New England beauty, from the White Mountains to the seacoast. It's a paradise for hikers, skiers, and anyone who loves the fall foliage. New Hampshire is for the independent-minded. It's for those who value safety, community, and financial freedom, and are willing to pay for it through property taxes in exchange for an elite quality of life. The runner-up for the best state to live in for 2026 is a place that has become a synonym for good governance, innovation, and an exceptional standard of living. Our number 2 state is Maryland. Maryland's elite status is built on a foundation of incredible human capital. When I analyzed the Census Bureau data, I found something remarkable. It has the highest median household income in the entire country. This isn't an anomaly, it's a long-term trend. The question is why? The answer lies in its unique concentration of high-knowledge industries. It is a bioscience and cybersecurity superpower. The state is home to the National Institutes of Health, NIH, Johns Hopkins University and Hospital, and the FDA. This creates a bioscience cluster that is arguably the most powerful in the world. Simultaneously, its proximity to Washington, D.C. has made it the epicenter of the nation's cybersecurity industry, anchored by the National Security Agency, NSA, at Fort Meade. This creates a massive demand for highly educated, highly skilled workers, which in turn fuels the state's incredible income levels. The public school system is also consistently ranked among the nation's best. Maryland offers a fantastic quality of life. From the mountains of western Maryland to the vibrant city of Baltimore and the beautiful beaches of the Eastern Shore, the state is a microcosm of America. The Chesapeake Bay is the heart and soul of the state, offering unparalleled opportunities for boating, fishing, and a lifestyle centered on the water. Now, the counterarguments are significant. The cost of living, especially in the D.C., suburbs like Montgomery and Howard counties, is very high. It also has a relatively high state and local tax burden. And, like its neighbor Virginia, traffic congestion on the Capitol Beltway and other major arteries can be intense. These are the pressures that come with such a dense, high-income population. But my analysis kept leading me back to the same conclusion. Maryland provides its residents with an extraordinary return on their investment. The access to elite jobs, education, and healthcare is undeniable. It's a state for those who are ambitious, who want to be at the center of critical global industries, and who are looking for a community that is diverse, educated, and prosperous. And that brings us to number 1. After analyzing dozens of metrics across all 50 states, one state consistently rose to the top. It doesn't have the lowest costs or the biggest mountains, but it has the most powerful, balanced, and complete profile of what makes a place truly elite. It excels in almost every category we measured, from its economy to its communities. The number 1 most elite state to live in America for 2026 is New Jersey. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. New Jersey? The butt of late-night jokes? But when you ignore the stereotypes and look at the hard data, a different picture emerges, an elite one. Let's start with its greatest asset, its public education system. For years, U.S. News, Education Week, and other sources have consistently ranked New Jersey's K-12 public schools as #1 in the nation. This is the single most important factor for many families, and New Jersey delivers at a level no other state can match. This commitment to education creates a pipeline of talent that feeds its economy, and that economy is a powerhouse. It is a global leader in the pharmaceutical and life sciences industry. It's nicknamed the medicine chest of the world for a reason. This creates thousands of stable, high-paying jobs in research, development, and manufacturing. It's an economic bedrock. Its location is also a strategic advantage that cannot be overstated. Situated directly between New York City and Philadelphia, residents have access to the job markets of two of the largest metropolitan economies on the continent. This is unparalleled access. You can live in a quiet New Jersey suburb with top-tier schools and commute to a high-powered job in Manhattan. This is a daily reality for hundreds of thousands of people. Let's talk quality of life. Despite its density, New Jersey is called the Garden State for a reason. It has over 130 miles of beautiful coastline, from Sandy Hook to Cape May. It has thousands of acres of protected pine barrens and beautiful rolling farmland in the west. It's one of the most geographically diverse small states in the country. It's also one of the most culturally and ethnically diverse states in America, according to census data. This diversity is reflected in its incredible food scene, from world-class Italian to authentic Indian. Now, we must address the elephant in the room: taxes. New Jersey has the highest property taxes in the nation. It is an expensive place to own a home, and there's no way around that fact. The cost of living is high, and traffic can be a nightmare. But my analysis shows that residents are getting something tangible in return for those high taxes: the best schools, excellent services, and safe communities. It's a high-investment, high-return model of governance. It's not for everyone. It requires a high income to live comfortably. But for those who can afford it, especially families, New Jersey offers a combination of educational excellence, economic opportunity, and lifestyle amenities that is, by the data, the most elite and well-rounded in the United States for 2026. So, let's recap our top 10. We've journeyed from the stable powerhouse of Virginia to the surprising, data-driven excellence of New Jersey. Each state offers a unique path to an elite life. But as I compiled this list, I noticed some fascinating patterns emerge. There seem to be 3 distinct archetypes of elite states in America today, each with its own social contract. The first I call the high investment hubs. These are states like New Jersey, Maryland, and Massachusetts. The social contract here is clear. You pay high taxes for high-quality, universal services. This isn't just about good schools. It translates to well-maintained public parks, state-of-the-art libraries, and efficient public transit. It's a belief in a strong collective foundation. This model is ideal for those who see taxes not as a burden, but as a direct investment in the community's human capital and their own family's well-being and future success. The second archetype is the freedom and growth engines. This category includes states like Utah, New Hampshire, and Washington. The philosophy here is centered on individual liberty and economic dynamism. The social contract is one of personal responsibility. Low taxes mean more disposable income and less bureaucracy for entrepreneurs, but it also means services are often privatized or funded at the local level. This creates a user-pays environment. You might pay less in taxes, but you might pay more for private schools, club sports, or access to exclusive recreational areas. It's a different path to quality of life. The third archetype is what I call the balanced powerhouses. These are states like Virginia, Colorado, North Carolina, and Minnesota. They represent the pragmatic middle ground. Their social contract is one of moderation. Taxes aren't the lowest, but they aren't the highest. They offer solid public services and strong economies without the extremes of the other two models. These states appeal to those seeking stability and a high quality of life without dramatic trade-offs. Their diversified economies often make them more resilient to national recessions. Understanding which of these archetypes aligns with your personal philosophy is, I believe, more important than any specific ranking. Now, let's address the giants you might have expected to see. California's influence is undeniable, but its elite status in tech and entertainment has created a demand that, constrained by geography and zoning, has pushed housing costs into the stratosphere. This creates a paradox which I saw in the data from the Public Policy Institute of California. The state with the most billionaires also has the nation's highest functional poverty rate when costs are factored in. This extreme bifurcation between the haves and have-nots, despite its world-class universities and natural beauty, prevented it from achieving the balanced elite status we sought in this analysis. Then there's Texas. Its Texas Miracle economic model, with no income tax and light regulation, has created one of the most dynamic job markets in the world, pulling in companies and people alike. But growth that outpaces infrastructure investment creates fragility. The 2021 winter storm, which crippled the state's independent power grid, was a stark example of this, as noted in reports from the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas. While it's a land of immense opportunity, the recurring strain on its infrastructure and lower per capita investment in public services like education kept it out of our top tier of balanced states. And Florida. Its appeal is powerful: sun, beaches, and no income tax. This has made it a magnet for retirees, and increasingly for finance and tech professionals, especially in the Miami area. However, there are long-term economic risks brewing. Credit rating agencies like Moody's have begun to specifically cite climate change risks, like sea level rise, in their analysis of Florida's municipal bonds. This, combined with a struggling property insurance market and a service-heavy economy that can suppress median wages, presents a complex picture of risk underneath the sunny facade. These states are giants of opportunity, but for this specific analysis of elite, balanced living, they presented trade-offs and long-term risks that kept them just off the list for 2026. So, if a state on our list does interest you, how do you move from this 30,000-foot view to a ground-level decision? I recommend a two-step research process. Step 1 is the macro data we've discussed today. Step 2 is the micro data. This is where you become your own analyst. Don't just look at the median home price for a town. Go to the county assessor's website and look up the property tax history for a specific address. Has it been stable, or has it jumped 20% in the last 3 years? That tells a story. Don't just look at a school district's overall rating. Look at the student-teacher ratio for the specific elementary school your child would attend. Check the course offerings at the high school. The rise of remote work has fundamentally changed the geography of opportunity in America. For the first time, many of us can choose our community first and bring our job with us. This creates a new, fierce competition between states, not just for corporate headquarters, but for talented individuals and their families. The states that invest in human capital will win. The data I've shared is a snapshot for 2026, but these are not static lists. A state that makes a major investment in its university system or infrastructure could easily leap up the rankings. Conversely, a state that neglects its public schools or overstretches its natural resources will inevitably see its quality of life decline. This is a dynamic process we should all be watching. So, let's circle back to that initial feeling of frustration. The generic lists, the shallow data. My hope is that this analysis has provided a deeper, more nuanced framework for your search. It's shown that elite isn't about being the cheapest or the sunniest. It's about the powerful synergy between a great job, a great school, and a community you're proud to call home. The American dream isn't dead, but its address is changing. It might be in a quiet suburb in New Jersey, a thriving tech hub in Utah, or a stable Midwestern community in Minnesota. The key is to do your own research, to be honest about your priorities, and to look beyond the headlines and stereotypes to the data that truly matters for your life. I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts. Based on this analysis, which of these states surprised you the most? And which of the three archetypes, the high investment hub, the freedom and growth engine, or the balanced powerhouse, best fits your personal definition of an elite life? Tell me your story and your perspective in the comments below. I read every one, and the discussion helps us all learn and see things in a new way. If you found this deep dive helpful and appreciate a data-driven approach to life's biggest decisions, the best way to support this channel is to give this video a like and subscribe for more content just like this. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Now go out and start building your own elite life, wherever that may be.